What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
Describe themselves as a non-profit organization, not a think tank, but a 501c3 that's nonpartisan. And basically, to be a member of ALEC, if you're a legislator, it costs $50 every other year. Corporations pay $50,000 a year, and they pay a lot more to be on each of the 9 task force within ALEC. The way that ALEC functions is they have 3 conferences a year, and they have a lot of regional, in addition to that, they have regional meetings and statewide meetings. These conferences are free for legislators. They get what's called like a scholarship. They can bring their family. They're very exclusive, very 1%. And at these conferences, they draft model legislation. Corporations have the opportunity to vote on the legislative pieces that they like the best. Then they can tweak the language. Then legislators go back to their respective political bodies and introduce these bills. 1 out of 5 ALEC bills passes into law. And over the last 20 years, ALEC has been relatively like off the radar, right? So it's important that we start to make this connection. This 469 bill was introduced by 4 ALEC members. And it's no coincidence that it was introduced a week and a half after we started a picket at AT&T. AT&T is one of the board members for ALEC, right? So they're one of the heavy hitters in the organization, along with Coke, Walmart, and a couple of other, big corporations. So it's important for us to make the connection. That's why we're here this morning, and we plan to be at AT&T at noon. We don't just want to target the folks that introduced the legislation, we want to target those that wrote it.
It wasn't just corporate backed, it was written by corporations. And those in power, that they're feeling our impact when they start to craft legislation directly criminalizing direct actions of civil disobedience. We got to get past the point of doing this traditional lobbying, writing checks, asking for favors from the Democrats, and expecting them to bring economic and social justice in this society. It's up to us, and that's what the Occupy movement's about. That's what the labor movement's about, okay? This bill is very fortunate for us because it points up to us more clearly than what we recognize ourselves, and that we're in this together. It really is us against them. We have our own divisions and disputes, but they targeted labor. But in Section 5, they made it clear that they're targeting all those that care about social and economic injustice in our society, and all those that are brave enough and bold enough to engage in direct action in civil disobedience, like what happened at Chase Bank. Like when 12 of us were arrested at AT&T trying to stop 740 layoffs. What this bill tries to do is bankrupt and defund unions. We're at 4% in the state right now. This bill will bring us to 0% effectively, okay? It will also make us, those that are engaged in civil disobedience, serve long prison sentences. We're going to be political prisoners. This is what they want us to do. But you know what? I'm not intimidated by this bill. And I want to ask y'all, are you intimidated by this bill? Are you going to stop doing this? Hell no! We got to see this bill as a historic opportunity for us to organize on a scale that we can only imagine. If we do this right, we can bring in forces from the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, the immigrant community, the LGBT community, those that are on the left, those that are in the middle. We can appeal to all because this is a basic assault on our fundamental human rights. This is about freedom. This is about democracy. And these corporate politicians who claim, right, that they're the party of small government, they get the hell out of my union is what I have to say. Get the hell out of this social justice movement and start trying to regulate free speech. This is just a start to it. We're going to be back. And if this gets to the governor's desk for his signature, rest assured, he's going to feel very uncomfortable, right, signing this bill into law. We have a right to pick it outside of a private residence. If you're wrecking working families and you're destroying unions, we're going to be at your doorstep, and we're going to do it even if we face penalties and fines. Y'all with that? on March 7th, if this bill does not get over to the House, it's effectively dead. But we ain't counting on any parliamentary procedures to kill this bill. In order to kill this bill, we need people power, and we need to organize like we haven't before. I'm going to ask you again, are you with that? Yeah. Let's do it. Thank you.
It is ours not to slave in, but to master and to own, while the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union makes us strong. They have taken us
basically, anybody that is organizing a picket or a protest outside of a non-government building, right? That could be a residence, it could be a corporate residence, it could be anything that's not a government building. Can be fined. Anybody that participates can be fined $1,000 a day. Organizations that support organizing work get fined $10,000 a day. It gets worse. For those that are even involved in planning nonviolent civil disobedience, could be charged with committing a crime. In other words, if I do a nonviolence training for a group that is looking to oppose, an immoral law, and that group follows suit with the act and gets charged with criminal trespass, then I could be charged with conspiracy, even if I don't, participate in the civil disobedience. So this law makes Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, John Lewis, it makes all of them criminals. And it is no coincidence that we started an occupation of AT&T, and a week and a half later, 469 gets introduced. Basically, what this bill represents is this idea of a corporation showing up on a lawmaker's doorstep with a bag full of cash, and in exchange, getting the laws that they want passed. That's what this bill represents. Does that make sense?